I think we're live. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels.
Yay!
Yeah. We need to work on this call and response.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what to say.
Yeah. You know, it's just like in talking about Survivor. Mike and I have been talking about Survivor for 10 years, and we still don't have a consistent introduction.
I will say Twitch does not see you as online.
Oh no.
Well, I got a notification. Yeah, it's playing for me.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say it
Oh,
should
maybe
be
it's
up.
up then.
Okay,
I
maybe
had to
it's
refresh. But
maybe
yeah.
a little bit of a delay, but we should be live according to my streamer. But I'll pull it up.
No, it
So you
looks
just
like it just came up.
Okay, might just be a little bit of a delay depending on where it's bouncing around to for everybody.
I've typically been a little behind most of my life.
Well, so we have half of our party back from the holiday. Alas, Chooch and Viv are. Well, I shouldn't say alas. Alas that they're not with us, but they're not with us because they are with their extended family for ongoing holiday travel. So good reasons. All things considered, but we're here to come back and play a little bit more Dungeons and Dragons.
Woohoo!
So I'm Christiana Ellis. I'm the Dungeon Master, and tonight we do have with us Mark Kilfoyle playing Alaric.
How's it going? I have no tag phrase.
And Starla Hutchton playing Nirakina Etu.
Greetings and salutations.
It's just so much better.
I think I stole it from Jared, actually. He would change it every week. So I was like, yoink, fine.
Yeah. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and start some tabletop audio ambiance. This particular track is called Disembodied Spirits.
Oh.
So.
Spooky. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Can't hear it.
Because we only have half the party, we are going to have a little bit of an interlude here, but it's in canon. So basically, where we left you guys last time was you had, with the help of a sort of small, sneaky alternate personality of the spirit of Lake Elamon, infiltrated the elemental plane of water with the hopes that you can close off the portal that allows the invaders to send reinforcements so that the Kuo-toa can fight off their oppressors and make everybody happy. And you've fought off some monsters and we're making your way through, and you're about to hopefully go and find that portal. But something, as you guys were making your way sort of down this stone corridor, all of a sudden it takes you a second to realize what's happening, because it's very disorienting at first. You find everything has stopped, and you don't feel frozen exactly. You just sort of feel like you're not ready to take the next step yet, or move, or breathe, or anything. You feel like you could, you're just not, for some reason. You can still think, but you can't actually move anything. And yet, you don't feel frozen, you just feel like you're not. And pretty soon, you're a little confused, and you hear a voice in your head. Ah, here they are, my Empress. I've found them for you. Excellent, Ranunculus. Ah, look, they are interesting little ripples, aren't they? Well, isn't this fascinating? Impetuous, too. Indeed, my Empress, they are defying the will of Lake Elamon. Well, impetuous and perhaps a bit foolish. I don't know. Now that they are in front of me, I feel... I can't resist getting involved, Ranunculus. Is it terribly awful for me to poke around a little bit? Oh, my Empress, you can do whatever you like. Of course. Let's give them a little bit of a test, shall we? What do you think? Well, we do have a demon in the menagerie, my Empress. Ah, yes, that will do nicely. Let's not make it too easy. Just grab 2 of them. And then, Alaric and Nira, you suddenly find yourself standing in a very dark cave. You can only just barely see each other with your dark vision. It's total darkness wherever you are, but you can see just sort of the vague outlines of a cavernous type of room. It's about perhaps 60, 70 feet in one direction, perhaps 120 feet or so in the other. About a 60-foot high ceiling. The walls are irregular, but otherwise it's carved out in an oblong sort of shape. You're standing there in the dark, and then appearing in front of you is a frog-like humanoid dressed in a very smart, fancy-looking yellow velvet, sort of suit, and he looks very sort of official, but like fancy. And it's a little bit weird because when you see him, it looks like he's standing in bright sunlight, but nothing else around him is. And it's a little disconcerting. And he just says, "The 2 of you have been selected to participate in a game for Exalted Majesty Queen Heratimus the Glorified, Empress of the Twilight Court, Risen of the Moon, Tender of Astral Gardens, Enchantress of the Heavens, Source of all joy, Creator of baubles, and Mistress of Time. Do you accept?"
I'm still catching up to the title.
What? Where are we? What's going on?
Where's everybody else?
You're nowhere at the moment, but that will be resolved shortly one way or the other. You must accept, you see, to participate in this game, and let me explain the rules. It will be dangerous, however there will be no permanent repercussions. If you should fail in your attempt, then you shall simply be returned to where you were, none the worse for wear, but you will not remember this conversation. However, if you are successful in the challenge we have set for you, you will have been granted an audience with Her Exalted Majesty, Queen Heratimus the Glorified, Empress of the Twilight Court, Risen of the Moon, Tender of Astral Gardens, Enchantress of the Heavens, Source of all joy, Creator of baubles, and Mistress of Time.
Creator of bubbles?
Baubles, like ornaments, knickknacks.
That makes a little more sense.
Well, I mean, we're here.
Don't really have a choice, I don't think.
You do have a choice you must accept. I need your verbal consent.
I don't know if that sounds like a choice, but
If
sure.
you decline, I will simply return you to where we found you. Disappointed, but accepting. You see, it's the rules.
This
I
isn't
don't know,
making me fight my dad again, is it? That didn't go well.
It might be fun to meet an empress, though.
If
Well,
you are worthy of the audience with the Empress, you will be permitted to ask her 3 questions, and she will not deny you any information.
Well, I'm in. I accept.
I've
Very
never met a
well.
bubble princess before, so sure.
I would advise that you use her proper title or simply Your Exalted Majesty when you meet her. That is, of course, if you pass.
Your exalted... Yeah, that's a little shorter. Mistress? Was it?
Your Exalted Majesty is the
Majesty.
short title.
I'm trying. Can you remember that, Nira? Because I don't...
I think I can remember that. I have one question. If we succeed, will we remember what we're told?
Yes.
All right.
There must be a reward after all.
Sure. I'm sure we can rise to whatever this challenge is. She can. I can follow.
Excellent. Then I present you now with your challenge. Survive.
Survive.
And then, suddenly, the room around you seems to light up with sort of a red glow, and this little frog-like guy is just gone. You blinked and he was just like he had never been there. And you realize you can now see within this cavern by the glow of sort of a stream of lava running through it. And it's actually not obvious how it wasn't casting the light before, but now you see it. And I will take you guys to the map. Oops. Alright. Alright. Whoops. I lost your little icons. Here we are. Here you are. Down in the corner here. So, what you see in this room, as I mentioned, is this cavern that is lit only by the glow of this lava stream. This is a sort of a ledge, meaning this half of the room is about 5 feet up higher than the half of the room you're in. These are stalagmites on the ground, and these are both big boulders, and you can see the shadows cast by each from the lava glow. And then, as you look around, you spot, standing on the boulder over here, is a 10-foot tall humanoid shape with, arms and legs, but also a long tail, 2 enormous bat-like wings, and its head is just it's like a monstrosity of some kind. Oops, let me get we're now in Volcano in Tabletop Audio. This thing's head, it's somewhat like a wolf's, but a cyclops wolf. It has one big eye in the center of its head, and instead of a normal biological lower jaw, it's a metal steel trap-like mouth. And you see it standing on the rock, looking around like it's confused too for a moment. But then it looks and sees you, and we're rolling initiative.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
All of the stuff that we have is with us, correct?
Yes. All of your gear that you normally would have on you.
Everything that we had when we left.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, I rolled in... Oh, hold on. I have to add my thingy. 20, not natural.
Okay.
And appropriately enough, I follow her with a 19.
All right. Okay. It actually rolls a 26. It goes first. No, I'm sorry, 24. Excuse me. It goes first, and as you watch, it sort of flaps its wings and lifts off and turns invisible. You can still kind of hear its wings moving, but it is now turned invisible.
So here's what I'm asking a question.
Yeah?
Also, I would like to know if anything that we have, like if that stuff gets reset when we go back.
Well...
Like I have the Wand of Wonder.
I will say yes, it does. So basically, consider this interlude, it's its own little pocket universe. So,
does that also include the amulets of invisibility we were given?
I'm going to say no. That one is more specifically tied to the other.
So close. Okay.
I remember that.
So, you have full health, all your spell slots and items and so on, and I'll go ahead and tell you that whenever you go back, you will be back to what you were before coming here.
Okay.
All right.
So that was its turn, was to turn
Yes,
invisible?
it turned invisible, but you could still just sort of in the periphery of your hearing, you can hear that it's giant leathery wings flapping. So you know that it's still here. It's just turned invisible. You don't know where it went.
Okay.
So,
I-
yeah, Nira's
okay.
up. Sorry.
I'm trying to decide if I think this is like an illusion thing. Because I don't know how the invisibility works. Like if it's the matter itself actually disappears, which I don't think because I can hear it. Or...
No, well, so technically speaking, both invisibility and greater invisibility are spells in the school of illusion. So they are illusion magic.
So can I use my Verity Ring?
You can. And trying to remember exactly what the rule was for that. Was it gives you advantage on checks to see?
Hold on, I've got where's my stuff? Verity Ring. Peered through it grants advantage checks to see through illusion magic.
All right, so this is not something where it would be like you make an intelligence check or a wisdom check to see through an illusion. However, what I'll say is you discover that looking through the ring you can see its shadow, but only while you're holding the ring up.
Right.
While looking through the ring you can see its shadow, and it is currently right here. But I
have movement, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And also, I won't even count that as your action. But spells that require you that say a target that you can see, you can't see it. You see its shadow, so you know where it probably is, but not close enough to cast something that requires you to see it.
Okay, so I need to look. Use an action to expend one of its charges. Point a creature, an object, or a point in space. Okay. So I would like to. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna use the Wand of Wonder.
Okay.
Boom. Wherever I
Son
see
of a
the
top.
shadow.
All right.
As well.
So
That's out of 100, right?
yeah, so you roll percentile dice.
Okay. Here. 2 and 6. 26. I cast Stinking Cloud.
Okay.
Oh,
What that does.
Okay, what that does is so suddenly as you cast it, emerging from this point that you had selected, where you have the approximate position based on where its shadow is. A 20-foot radius sphere of yellow gas begins to condense into existence, and so there's a big marker. Yeah. This is a concentration spell, so you will need to hold the concentration or else it'll disappear. But there's a big cloud of gas around right there now.
Right.
And so nothing happens to it now, but on its turn, it will begin its turn in the cloud, so that's when that would happen.
And then I want to move kind of in the shadow of that big boulder, like, away.
Okay? Like over here?
Yeah.
Alright.
Aim
Like
for the
that,
gun.
or further? Do you want to be totally out of line of sight?
Yeah. I'll be totally out of line of sight if I can get there.
So you were here, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Yeah, I think you can only get there. So
Okay.
you're kind of, I would say, maybe half cover from about where you think it is, but you're also hiding in the shadow. All right, Alaric.
ah, crap. The thing went invisible and then it exploded into a puff of smelly smoke. All right.
Well, you saw Nira use the wand, and that's where the puff
Sure.
exploded. So
Why she shot there, I have no idea. I'm going to do an unusual thing for Alaric. I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
All right.
Which makes my AC a lot better. Then I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to move. I see there's like 4 stalactites all right together.
Yep.
There's a big shadow there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move into that shadow and hide. It's my bonus action.
Okay, make a stealth check.
19.
19. All right. You have hidden. You don't.
Oh.
You don't know if if it still sees you or not. All right. Okay, so it is its turn now. So let's see. What does it do with the?
Weird spell.
Yeah.
Hidden Thought is awesome.
Actually, so you are able to watch the cloud, and you see like movement within it. Like something is clearly like blowing the gas around, which you can reasonably infer might be the flapping of giant leathery wings, as it seems to move out of the cloud, and it swoops around. And Alaric, you immediately sense the movement of the air of this gigantic thing lands behind you and is going to try to bite you with its big old metal jaws, invisible and everything. So let's see. That's going to be a 26.
Yeah, not much I can do about that.
14.
14 is a miss. Oh, 14 damage?
No, that's I'm rolling 3 attacks.
Oh yeah,
Because
no,
it
14
goes
is a
chomp,
miss
chomp, chomp.
now.
Okay, and then that one is a 23. So that's two hits and a miss, or no?
Does it look like it's going to hurt a lot?
Well, you don't know, but I'll roll the damage for the first one if you want.
All
And,
right.
Ooh, that's a unusual. Ooh, that's a good roll. 18. 23 damage from the first
Okay.
bite.
Then I will react with shield.
Okay.
Wait, what did it get?
23 damage for the first one, and then the 23 was the attack roll for the.
Shield will put me at 22.
Okay.
Okay, so 23 damage. First, I'm going to do that part.
So you don't have to use the spell slot if since it would hit anyway. In this case.
All right. That hurts a lot.
All right. So the rolling damage for the other one.
Yep. I might be out here.
Yeah, that's only 14.
Well, that's not quite as painful. So, quite painful, but clearly it saw me. Damn it.
Yeah, and you can kind of you still can't see it, but you can just sort of sense its enormous physical form, sort of looming over you. The room is very hot from the lava. You can feel just the heat radiating throughout everything, but you're not burning or anything.
Okay.
All right, Nira, you don't specifically see the creature, but you probably did just see Alaric react as though he's getting
Ow,
chomped.
damn it.
Right. How down are you? Like, if you take another hit, are you done?
Another hit like that first one? Yes.
Okay. I guess
Below half.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let me see.
I've got an idea if you can do something.
Okay. Hold on, well, I'll cast a healing spell. I mean, I can do a lot of things right now. Let's see. Not lesser restoration. I want to do. I guess healing word. I'll just do that.
It's the only ranged one.
Yeah, 1d4 plus 3.
Well, you could run up to him too if you wanted, but whatever.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I love you, but not that much. Alright, so that's a 7 total.
Alright. I'll take it.
And then I'm going to retreat a little further behind the boulder.
Healing word, I think, is a bonus action, so you still have an action.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I think
sweet.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to use the wand again, but I don't want to hit him either.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all down to whatever it might do. You don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna use the wand again.
So roll your percentile dice again.
Because I would like to save my spell slots for. So that's a 1 and an 8.
18.
Gust of wind.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, gust of wind. A strong line of strong wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blasts from you in a direction you choose for the spell's duration. I'm assuming that you would be aiming it at the where you think the creature is.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say that you can get to you can point at where you think the creature is without getting Alaric in it, because this is a new concentration spell.
Well, it's hold on, I'm looking.
It is.
Gust.
Gust of wind is a concentration spell, so because you can keep it going.
Okay, because it's not saying here, but I'm
Well,
looking for it.
I mean,
But,
I
okay,
have it
go
up,
ahead.
so it is.
Yeah.
So it just means the stinking cloud fades.
Yeah, that's fine.
But so
That
your
wasn't
gust
very
of
useful
wind
anyway.
is just going like this. So it makes it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away. And it's gonna. Oh,
I
that's
feel like
only a
this-
12.
Oh,
So-
wow. It had to beat 14. I'm surprised. I thought for sure that thing was going to be...
You hear it snarling in frustration as it's fighting against the wind. And I'm going to say as it moves away from you, Alaric, you can make an opportunity attack if you want, but it's at disadvantage because you can't see it.
I'll take whatever I can get at this
Yeah.
point. I'm hoping to get one hit in before I'm down. Much like fighting his dad. Actually, he's almost exactly like fighting his dad. That is a 13 to hit, though.
13. A 13 does not hit.
Stabby, stabby.
Yeah. So that is your turn, Nira. Are you staying where you are, or are you moving?
Since I got the wind going, I'm going to stay
Okay.
where I'm at.
All right. Alaric.
How wide is that lava stream?
It's to scale with
you
the
had 5 to 10,
the 5-foot squares.
So hopping over it is not... Is it an action or just part of my move?
With a running jump, I won't make you roll for it.
Okay. Not that it really helps me that much, but... yeah, I'm going to... Let's see... Can't get there. And it's going to be a double move to get up over the ridge, I'm assuming.
Yeah, to get, because this is, climbing up like 5 feet, so I wouldn't make you roll for it, but it would be, well, I mean, to get that far anyway. Yeah.
Damn, I can't get anywhere that I can hide. I will just move back then.
Well, you could go back this way if I was like you could get around the far side of the rock, the boulder there.
That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can get that far.
But
oh, I see. If you, there's not a great
I don't know
place
what
to
it
hide
can
other than,
Yeah. Actually, damn it! No, I'm gonna have to move behind that rock.
Yeah, if you get behind me, I've got the wind going, so...
I can't cross the wind though, so I have to.
Well,
take the
yeah.
wind.
So I'll say that you can slide around the inside of her since she's would be cooperative there.
Okay.
In fact,
I will-
actually, you were like here, I think.
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
10. Yeah. So you could move one more square if you want.
Will I still have a line of sight?
No. If you move here, you will. But if you wanted to move here, you would not.
Okay. Actually, I'll move there first.
Okay.
No, I'll move where you had me. I'll at least save that last space of movement first.
Okay. So.
And I'm going to fire my crossbow.
Okay.
Now
So-
I'm at disadvantage.
Don't hit me.
Yeah.
Been down this road before, poor Andrew.
I know.
Oh, I should have booped him with guidance.
Oh God.
Guidance would
One.
be ability check, not.
I rolled a 1.
No.
You rolled a 1? Oh. Yeah.
Disadvantage kills once again.
Misfire. Boing. You don't hit me though.
I figured that there's so much wind blowing around and I can't see anything anyway. So I can't take a pot
Okay.
shot, and then I'll take that one last step, and then I will use my bonus action to hide.
All right. Go ahead and make another stealth check.
22. Sorry, 23.
Okay. All right. It is the demon's turn again, and it is going to you. Let's see. It's Let's see. I'm just trying to determine what it would take if it was trying to just push through the. Okay, so it basically moves half speed to try to force its way through the wind,
That
which
sounds
is
right.
what it's doing.
Oh no.
You can actually see like it kicking up like rocks, and you can see that it's basically using its claws to like claw its way along the ground to fight against the wind
It's still
at
invisible.
you. Still invisible, yeah. And so it is gonna make it's gonna try to bite you, Nira.
No.
Yeah. Yep. 18.
That hits.
Another 18.
Yeah.
And then that's a 14.
No.
All right. Mm. 17 for the first hit.
I got my calculator. Cannot math. Okay.
And then 23 for the second.
Okay. So
That's 30 total.
17 and 23.
Yeah. Or wait. No, it's 40 total, I guess.
Okay, that's hold. Does that give me 23? Like, is that right?
I
Yeah.
I know
If
you
it's
said
40
that.
total, then yeah, it would be down because I was
Okay.
like putting in minus 23 and it would be 23. I was really confused. Okay. Yeah. That sucks.
All right, but that's its turn. It is your turn, and so if you want to keep the wind going on it, it'll have to make another saving throw.
I don't know that I want to do that again.
Well, I think
Yeah.
gust of wind, I think, does not require you to. Let's see. You can keep it going and still have another action. You don't have to use your action to keep it going.
But if I'm using the wand to cast it, that means I would only have one hand free, right?
So the
Oh, wait,
so
it bit me, though.
The spell is going.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it
I
did-
forgot.
it
I
did
forgot. I
damage
have
you.
my Wrath of the Storm.
Okay, you want to use
Oh,
that
that's
then?
it.
Sure.
Can I? Will you let me write
Yeah.
retroactively? do
Yeah.
that?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Although if our only damage technique is let it hit me and I'll hit it back. It's
All
not
I
gonna be
got,
very
man.
exciting.
Okay. 2d8 lightning or thunder damage. We'll go with lightning damage.
All right.
So, 7.
7. Okay. It does have to make a Constitution check. Ooh. It doesn't take much damage. However, it's distracted enough and surprised enough by this jolt of electricity through it that it drops its invisibility. It is no longer invisible.
It's
Oh,
food.
sweet.
It's back.
Yeah. But now there's
But it's in
probably
my
a part of
face.
you that as soon as it reappears it's really ugly, sharp jaws and it's giant, glaring, bloodshot eye. There might be a part of you that kind of is like, oh wait, no, I'm not sure this is actually what I wanted.
Yes, yes, it is. Don't look at his teeth. Don't look at his teeth.
All right.
I'm usually
but
more
yes,
of a
it
ranged
is-
fighter.
So that was when on its turn that you used your
Right.
reaction for that. So it's now visible. You can just maintain concentration on the gust of wind unless you want to drop it. It doesn't require any new action to keep it going in the same direction.
You know what? I just don't use this wand enough, so I feel like I have to do something
No,
new.
so you can cast the wand again and keep the spell up. It's just that
Oh.
if the wand casts a new concentration spell, it'll take the place of your current concentration spell.
Okay, well, let's do that.
And we can let the wind happen first too, if you want. It'll happen this turn, and then.
Okay.
So it's going to make a strength save again for the against the wind,
Mm-hmm.
and that time it gets a 16. So I think that beats what you said. Though the wand is a DC 14, I think you said, or DC 15.
I'm a 14. I don't see
the
specific.
wand actually has a DC of 15. So, but it beats it anyway. So it is able to
Oh, yeah, there
resist
it
the
is.
wind and not be blown back. But you can now cast another spell if you want.
Okay. So. And,
You're just having fun
I
with
just-
the battle that doesn't matter.
let's see, it's a 2. So that is I cast slow.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know what that does. I don't have that one.
No, that's actually potentially really helpful for you guys. So that's actually, it creates a ranged spell, but there's only the one here. So technically it's automatically, so it has to make a wisdom saving throw. Alright, so I'll have it do that. It does succeed on the wisdom saving throw. So,
Is that a concentration spell?
it is.
So it breaks the wind.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
break the wind.
I knew what I said just as soon as it came out of my mouth.
From the stinking cloud was earlier.
okay, yeah, so unfortunately it is not affected by the spell.
Is that just a one-time fire, or is that
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
as soon as it didn't take hold, it was gone.
All right. I really kind of don't want to be up in his face anymore,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it will get an attack of opportunity if you try to.
yeah. It's gonna kill me. I will cast Healing Word as a bonus action
Okay. On yourself?
on myself.
All right.
So that was 1d4. And another 7. Something's working for me. Okay, so that brings me to 30.
All right.
Do something, Mark.
Alaric.
Mark.
I gotta hope.
Yeah, so you
Um,
can see it now.
Yeah, can it see me? Am I hidden from
You
it?
are hidden.
Can I creep forward to it then and still be hidden?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're emerging from hiding, so you're going to get sneak attack if that's what you're looking for.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So I will creep forward and twice with the dagger. Since I'm hidden, I have advantage now. So much better than having all this disadvantage, which
Yeah.
kept making me kill other people if we're on our side. Oh, that's much better. That's 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's not a huge amount of damage, but that's sneak attack bonus. Oops, I haven't looked it up. Only 1d6 in this level. Oh. Still, I'll take it. That is 10 points of damage, piercing.
All right.
Magical.
Yeah, you got it.
I
It
take-
takes all that damage and it snarls at you. Ah!
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
Not with advantage. Only a 12. Crap.
Is only the first attack is with advantage? Is that how that works? I think they both
I
get
break
advantage.
stealth when I attack.
Yeah, but if this is your fighter extra attack,
Actually, it's 2 attacks when I take an action.
Yeah, so I think you get advantage on both. I will allow
that was
it.
also a 5. So that was total of 12 in both cases.
Okay. Yeah, 12 unfortunately misses.
I will use my bonus action to hide again.
Okay, you're right in front of him, but in the shadow.
Shadow. There's only one light source.
Okay, so make a stealth check.
23 again.
Okay.
I'll burn my action surge.
You were unfortunately not hidden, so you didn't. It was still able to see you. So,
I don't have
but
advantage,
no,
but I still
yeah.
get to. And I will attack again.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 17 to hit
17 hits.
for 8 points of damage.
All right.
One more time. Come on. That is a 26 to hit
26 definitely hits.
for another 10 points of damage.
All right. There you go.
I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage.
Do you get a second bonus action when you do action
I
surge?
get, I think I get, oh, actually, let me just check. It might be, no, it's additional action, so never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah, I don't think you get a second bonus action. But you did some significant damage there.
I did something, anyway.
It definitely felt that.
Yeah.
It still
But
seems
now I'm
fairly
in his
hardy,
face.
though.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I do have my move, though.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to move beyond it.
Okay.
So I'm going to move past it, the full 5 squares.
Are you staying in range, or do you want to?
I'll leave range, so it'll be forced to use its
Okay.
reaction if it wants to do a...
Okay. Yeah, it is going to do that. So it's going to make.
But it is going to split its targets, at least.
Yeah. That's going to be a 23 to hit.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
I don't think this is going to... I don't think
Oh.
our questions are going to be answered.
That
feel like
that
you're
is
probably right.
that is 10. Only 10 damage that time.
Oh, no.
Well.
It only takes about half of your hit points, but that's okay. Oh, all right.
But yeah, so you're able to get a little ways away there.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay.
Time to die.
It is.
Try not
It's now that it's visible again. It actually was glaring at you, Nira, until it just got stabbed a bunch by a little dwarf. So it actually whirls in place, and its one big bloodshot eye just stares at you, Alaric. And what you suddenly find yourself lifted off your feet, and just blasted back against the wall.
No save.
You don't take any damage, but I need a dexterity saving throw to see if you manage to land on your feet.
That is a total of 9. I'm rolling a lot of 5s tonight.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, you fall prone after hitting the wall, and here's what both of you notice: your shadow stayed where you were.
Oh, that's not good. I need that. I need that alive.
Uh-oh. I have a feeling we just conjured another enemy. Ah,
All right, so I'm rolling initiative for the shadow.
no.
I'll do a dance with the shadow. And my shadow. Ow, ow, ow.
I think it'll be more like shadow boxing, but
Shadow dancer.
That was that was its action though. So that is its turn. It's your turn now, Nira.
how high is the ceiling?
It's about 60 feet.
Damn it. Can't use my favorite. Alright, what does that do? Hold on, let me look at this. I was really hoping that... I think I want to try I want to try and use Guardian of Faith, because I haven't yet. It's a new one. Let's see. So that is dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I'm looking up the spell just to make sure I know what happens. Ooh.
So a giant mountain appears in front of me.
A giant mountain is the...
it could be the dragon. We'll do the dragon, the Vrishama.
I don't have the
I've used the mountain as my spiritual weapon because that was just funny, but
where did I just put all your tokens? I was just gonna... You know what? I'll use one of the back of one of your blue slots from last week.
oh, it says the guardian that occupies the space is indistinct except for a gleaming sword and shield emblazoned with the symbol of the deity.
That's all right. You can have it look like a mountain if that's what you want. All right. It hovers in a space of your choice, and so you're gonna use your movement to back up and then put it between you.
I would like to put it between.
It used its reaction already.
Yeah, you can get away.
From.
Okay, then yeah, I want to put the guardian between me and the
That was my
demon.
hope, so you could move the hell away.
All right. So any creature hostile to you that moves to a space within 10 feet on a turn. So it's going to make the throw on its turn.
Okay.
Um,
And do I want to cast my bonus? What is your health at right now, Mark? Alaric?
About a third.
I'm trying to decide if I need to hold on to that until we really need it. Because I could cast Healing Word as a bonus action if you need it.
If it doesn't attack me this round, I may survive.
Okay, well then I'll go ahead and cast Healing Word for Mark again. As my bonus action. Ooh, doing really well. 7.
all right. So that was your turn. Nero?
Should have more movement left. if
Yeah,
you
you
wanna move.
you can move more if you want. I moved you just enough
yeah,
to make room for the...
Yeah, I think I would like to move a little bit further back behind the boulder.
Yeah. Do you
Maybe
wanna...
not stepping into the lava, but you know.
Right, sure. There's room to edge around and not step in the lava, but you are getting close. It's
Right, so
alarmingly
I'll
hot.
just like keep myself like with the
All
boulder
right.
between me and it. So
Okay. So that is your turn. Alaric, it is your turn. So you are prone. You can stand up with half your movement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
That really cuts down my options.
And you see your shadow. And
Yeah.
it's probably... You look down and you realize, yeah, you are no longer casting your own shadow. It was blasted off of you. Or rather, you
Go
were
get him.
blasted off of it.
Go get him, I hope. I'm going to move diagonal away from it, 1. So,
Like that?
my perspective, yes. That
Okay.
puts me in range.
Okay.
I throw my dagger.
All right. At the demon?
Yes.
All right.
That is a 21 to hit
21
Oh,
hits.
for 8 points of damage.
All right.
Fire my crossbow for my second attack.
Okay.
14 to hit.
14 misses, unfortunately.
All right.
Wing.
Um,
It bounces off the rock and it lands in the lava.
but Nira's nowhere near it, so I'm okay. I can move 1 more diagonal, so I'm in that shadow,
Yep.
and I will try to hide.
Okay.
My
Make
bonus
make a stealth check.
17. Would have been better.
Let's see.
And ignore the shadow for the moment. That's probably going to kill me.
All right. Okay, so it is the shadow's turn, but you see it kind of go past where you were, it does not appear to see you. So it moves kind of in that direction, seems to be looking for you, but it does not see you.
That's weird.
All right, it is the demon's turn again, and it is taken aback by a giant spectral mountain in its face. And so it's going to try to just push through it. But what that means is that it's going to have to make this dexterity saving throw.
Please work.
It gets a 19, but 18, which is a success. But
So it takes 10.
it does take 10 radiant damage, and
Yes.
as it starts to try to push through that space, you see it sort of burn, and some of the its flesh sort of sizzles that away from it. It's like, and so it does take that damage. So then it sort of flaps up into the air and kind of flies around this way.
No!
And it sort of settles on the rocks here. And let's see. And it stares at you with this eye, and you find yourself blasted back against the wall. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That could have gone better. Hold on. Switch right here. So it's a +2? Yeah. Yeah, that could have gone better. So that's an 11.
Okay, yeah, so you are knocked prone, and as you sort of land sitting against the wall, you see your shadow is now separated from you as well.
Crap.
But it is your turn now.
Okay.
And the spell for Spectral Guardian does not seem to say that you can move it, but I don't see
No,
why
it stays. Well, it stays there until it's dealt 60 damage.
All right. Yeah, so that looks. I was just trying to see if you can tell it to move like spiritual weapon or something, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
Nope.
Moves to a space within for the first time.
yeah. But what
Yeah.
that means is, as long as you stay within that radius, it can't get to you without facing.
Right. So first I have to get up, right?
Yeah.
That's half my movement.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will get up. I'm going to move closer to my guardian here, so that if that thing comes, the shadow comes at me.
Yeah.
And then, where is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll use Shatter, and I'm going to cast Shatter on the demon.
Okay. All right.
And I think I can use Destructive Wrath with that one, or is that just?
I believe so. It's when it's for thunder or lightning, I believe.
Yeah.
All right.
Lost all my spells. I feel so
Yeah.
disorganized.
So you're using your channel divinity destructive wrath,
Yes.
which basically just
Shatter.
makes you maximize the damage, right?
I was trying to figure out with a. Let's see, at higher levels, you guess if there's.
Well, yeah. So
3d8. Okay,
Okay.
so that's 24, right?
All right. So as it flies there in the air, glaring down at you, just a shockwave. It resonates out and echoes back and forth along this tiny little cavern, and you see it just jolted back, and it actually collapses out of the air and sort of lands on the ledge here. It takes 24 damage.
Oh, it moved. Damn.
Yeah, it's definitely looking significantly injured now. It's it's not on its last legs exactly, but it's taken some hard hits, and it's significant. You can tell it's injured. All right, That was your action and your movement.
Yeah, yeah. Am I as close to that guardian as I can get? Because everything has to be within 10 feet of that to get.
Yeah,
hit
I'll
with
say you're within 5 feet of it, so something can't get within melee range of you without entering that space.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, Alaric, your turn. This thing is practically on top of you, but it seems to be your shadow seems to be looking in the other direction, confused.
Good. I'm going to continue to ignore it. I'm going to move up 1 and then diagonal 3.
Okay. So like this?
And then diagonal towards it 3. Am I hidden from it still? I was hiding. I don't know.
From the demon?
Yeah.
You were hidden from it, and so you were emerging from hiding, so you're still good.
Okay. I'm going to take my 2 shots from there.
All right.
Crossbow first, and because I was hidden from it, it's advantage. That is a 26 to hit.
26 hits?
Cool, I get all the dice. That is 12 points of damage.
Nice.
And then the dagger, throwing it. Crap, I don't have the dagger.
Do you only have 1 dagger? I think having some, like, 3
I don't have
daggers
that
or something. All right. So,
I'll use my bonus action to... No, actually, I know where the dagger is. I have to give up my second action. I will use my remaining move to move away from it 1 square.
Okay. Like that?
I'm going to use my... no, towards the guardian. And I'll use my bonus action to move the rest of the way to the guardian.
Okay.
And pick up my dagger.
Like right here?
Right there. Yeah.
Okay, and then that is where your dagger fell after you hit it before, so.
And pick that up.
All right.
But I am no longer hidden.
Okay. It is... Let's see, now it's the Shadow's turn. And so that... What is their speed? Yeah. So, this one is moving towards you, and it seems to be coming right for you, Alaric, but then as soon as it enters that 10-foot radius of the guardian, it makes its dexterity saving throw. 14, which I think is that your
14.
Sure?
It has to. It says Dex 14. Attack is save.
Right. Well, I just keep feeling like is your DC still only 14? I mean, I believe you.
That's according to D&D Beyond. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming because my dexterity is only 14 with a +2 modifier.
Well, no,
but-
your save would be your
Yeah, I
spell
guess-
attack save.
Yeah.
It's not your dex.
Well, no, but
Yeah, 14.
it's Dex, but yeah, okay, 14. I'm not sure why I was thinking it should be more. Okay. Yeah, we're good. So it's 14, which means it gets a 14, so it does succeed, and it's going to take 10.
See, I would think it would have to beat 14 rather than match it.
No, meet it to beat it is the rule.
Nah.
And it works the same way for you too. So
Yeah.
it's fair that way.
So it takes 10.
Yeah, so it does take 10 damage, and it sort of recoils as it takes that damage, and it looks substantially weakened, but not completely gone.
I'm not hurt when the shadow is attacked.
Nope.
That was your theory I was testing. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had that concern too.
Yeah. No, it manages to it takes that damage, and it looks significantly weakened, but it is actually does get to you, and it's going to try to touch you, Alaric.
Uh-oh.
And it gets, oh, that's a high roll. It gets 22.
I can only get a 22. I can't get any higher, so I won't use that yet.
Okay. That's 11 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And your strength score is reduced by 3.
Ooh, is there a way to do that on D&D Beyond?
I'm not sure. I think that you would, you just have to kind of
Okay,
know it.
let's write it down.
So your current strength score, goes from 16 to 13. So basically, you have just a +1 instead of a. Wait, no, is that right? Yeah, that's a drag. So your modifier goes down by 2 actually. So okay, yeah, you feel weakened as it touches you and draws your strength away from you.
I don't want
Okay, and then your shadow, Nira, is coming at you too, and it's going to make the same dexterity saving throw. But it gets a 1, and so it
Yes, all 20.
As your shadow enters the radius of this guardian of faith, it just goes evaporates, and then you see it sort of dissolve into a little puddle that like snakes over to your feet and becomes your regular shadow again.
Nice.
that. Okay.
I love this spell. I'm all about this spell now. This is great.
So it's currently done 40 points of damage.
Yes.
All right.
Wait. Is that, yeah. It did 20 and then 10 and 10.
Okay. So it is the demon's turn again. And it flaps up to its feet, and it's going to swoop down at you.
No, swooping
and
is
try to bite
bad.
you. Yeah. It is going to make its throw as it enters this radius again. And that's not going to do it. Yeah. So that it's going to take that full 20.
Yes.
But
But
Yeah. So the Guardian of Faith disappears. Having expended the limit
60.
of its divine energy, but yeah, this demon it's pretty bad off now. It's looking desperate, but it's also now about to attack you.
no.
That's a 13.
Nope.
That is 24, and that's an 18.
Yeah, 2 of them hit.
Okay.
Damn it. 29 or less. Please.
I think the 29 less for me.
It does 14 damage.
Total or just the one?
That's from the one. Yeah,
'Cause
that's from the one.
It hit twice, so.
Yeah. So that's from one.
What a die.
Those are some low rolls, but it's still another 13 damage.
Okay, well then I'm also going to use channel the Wrath of the Storm.
Oh, okay.
On
Are you
also.
you're still up then?
I'm still up.
Okay.
So that was how much? 13 and 14 you said?
Yeah.
So that would be
27.
27. I still have 3 points.
Ah!
Okay, so Wrath of the Storm.
All right.
My keyboard to work properly. And that was what?
It did seem to take full damage from that shatter earlier. Oh wait, but Wrath of the Storm
Right.
is only
Yeah,
lightning,
it's
or
different. It's just the reaction to
Yeah.
being hit. 2d8 lightning or thunder. So I'm gonna we'll go with the thunder.
right.
Thunder. Feel the
No?
thunder.
Thunder.
And that's just 5 points. Now it's
Okay.
my turn.
But it also blasts back, right? Like that's one of your.
I think that's
Your
just with lightning damage.
I don't think so. But okay, I'll.
Thunderbolt strike when I do lightning damage.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So what was the amount that you did?
Just 5.
Just 5. Okay. Yeah. Where am I? There's my. It's looking pretty rough right now. Like it's on its last legs, but it's also still pretty dangerous. And you guys are not doing great either. So
On its last legs, unfortunately, it has wings.
yeah.
Okay. So.
All right. That's its turn then. Yeah. So it is actually your turn now.
Mhm.
Get it?
Can I take my bonus action first and then?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word.
Mass
So that
healing
would-
word, I think, is.
No,
is
I
that-
looked. It's a bonus action. I looked.
Oh, okay.
I looked. It works just like healing word, only I can cast it on multiple people. So
max
6.
healing word, yeah, because there's healing prayer.
Right.
Yeah, prayer of healing is different. So 6. So that brings me up to 9, and I would like to cast Shatter.
Okay.
Hey, that's
Again.
60 foot range. That covers me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you both get 6.
6 is good.
Yep.
Still alive. Okay,
Right,
so
and then
yeah,
you're casting Shatter again.
yeah,
right.
but like behind it, so it won't hit me. I hope.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
it
you
explodes,
can.
then
yeah.
I might.
No,
get
you
some
can. You can
splat.
have it be on a point of your choosing, so you can have it behind it. So it's,
Yeah. Doing that. Okay.
all
so
right. But I don't. I think you're. Are you out of your channel divinity, or are you doing that again? You've done it twice, right? Because
No, I've only used destructive wrath once.
Right, but the
Because Wrath of the Storm is 3 times before resting.
okay, yeah. So I was thinking that was part of your channel divinity. Okay, you're good. So you're doing
All right.
destructive wrath again then?
Yep, sure.
All right.
We'll go for it. 24.
Okay, this thing explodes.
Yes!
Little bits. And then clang as this big jaw lands in front of you. The shadow does not disappear yet, though.
So
Actually,
you
you know
go for
what?
it.
Actually, no, I take it back. It does. It as soon as this explosion happens, Alaric, you see this shadow, your shadow, kind of go, and then sort of flow back onto your feet and
I
resume
look at my
your-
feet and disconnected. Welcome back, old friend.
All right.
Is it done? Is it done?
We
Did you
didn't
do it?
die!
Yeah. So all of a sudden, you are enjoying your this feeling of victory and catching your breath, and
Oh no, there's gonna be more.
and then as you kind of just like between blinks, you realize suddenly you are not in that cave anymore. You are standing on a ornate marble floor under like big arched crystal, archways, and there's lots of people of all descriptions around you. Some of them look sort of animal-like, and some of them look more like humanoid, or some of them look more elvish, but just all shapes and sizes of people, but all dressed very fancy and glamorous, and they're kind of all standing to the sides and mostly kind of keeping to themselves, but very aware of your arrival and kind of whispering to each other about you. And you realize this, you are able to kind of start taking in this visage that you are in some sort of an amazing grand palace with, it's beautiful. It's made of, crystal and perfect marble, and sunlight coming in through refracting windows that sends little dancing lights all over the place. And as you are standing there on the far side of this hallway, this enormous set of golden doors opens, and you see that little frog guy from before enter and just say, "Welcome to you. You have succeeded in your challenge, and you have therefore been granted an audience with Her Exalted Majesty, Queen Hieratimus the Glorified, Empress of the Twilight Court, Risen of the Moon, Tender of Astral Gardens, Enchantress of the Heavens, Source of all joy, Creator of baubles, and Mistress of Time." And then all the people kind of surrounding you all just kind of
Sounds like they're introducing my grandmother. This is a little weird.
Bow a little bit. We're supposed to bow.
So you, the frog-like guy seems to be gesturing that you should follow him through this doorway.
Okay.
Guess I'll put the dagger and the crossbow away.
Kind of
Too far away.
make sure I'm not too dirty. Just kind of once over.
Still effectively shirtless.
So you guys make your way, through that hallway, and nice little golf clap applause, and but they kind of resume their conversation. You obviously are a momentary distraction in their otherwise very busy lives.
What do the people look like?
As I mentioned, there's just sort of all shapes and sizes, but some have sort of animal-like features. Others, all different races that you are familiar with, but they all have just sort of an otherworldly quality to them that is simultaneously glamorous, but a little bit unsettling. Like there's just a little bit of a niggling feeling to you, like they're not quite real somehow. Not an illusion, but just they seem somehow like too perfect.
Any insignias or anything?
You don't see, well, you see various crests and so on, but none that you recognize. They have all different crests. They're all dressed very nicely. You would expect this very much resembles a sort of royal court. And these are various courtiers and minor nobility, and you are now being escorted through the big doors.
Oh, that's weird. I switched my ambient track to Royal Salon, and they applauded when you said pass through the royal door.
That is actually the track that I switched to. I meant to say so, but yes, that's actually what we're on, is the Royal Salon and from Tabletop Audio. So they, if you are following this little frog-like fellow through the doors, the various courtiers go back to their business, and as you it sort of fades as you go down this long marble hallway, and the doors close behind you, even though there's no one apparently there to do that. But you are following this little frog-like fellow in the yellow velvet suit, and he is just guiding you down this kind of impossibly long corridor. It's very elegant and fancy, but it seems to stretch out almost to infinity, but yet he's just guiding you along it. It just goes on and on and on till the vanishing point. And as he's walking next to you, he just says, "That was very well done. The mistress, our Grand Empress, does in fact like games, but she likes even more people who are up to the challenge. So rest assured that she is at present pleased with you."
What was that thing anyway?
Oh, that was just a little demon from the abyss. We pulled him out as a, toy, figure of momentary interest, but we had more or less worn him out.
Has it got a name? In case I see one of those things again.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I wouldn't know. Excuse me. Don't. I can put you in touch with our menagerie keeper if you're really interested.
That might be handy.
You realize as you're kind of having this chat that all of a sudden you look and you are now approaching a door, even though it seemed like it was impossibly far in the distance before. And as you look back, the hallway now seems to recede kind of into infinity the other way, the way you just came. It leads you to another set of doors, and as you open them, as they open before you, you emerge into what seems to be sort of a courtyard garden with a very ornate gazebo in the middle of it. But it's also, despite the fact that it was bright sun shining through windows in the other room, it seems to be twilight here, just dusk. As though the sun has just dipped below the horizon, but still some light. And there's floral smells that are just impossibly beautiful, and lush greenery everywhere in this garden. And as you step along a little garden, gravel path, you see flowers of colors. When you look at it, obviously you can see what color it is, but you can't say what that color is. Somehow it's a color you've never experienced before, and you can see it, but what color is it? You don't know, and you can't quite make your brain comprehend it fully. But you follow this little frog-like fellow around a path, and then there, sitting in a bench in the middle of the garden, is a tall, pale-skinned woman in a dark, shimmery dress, wearing a crown, and she is the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. And it's just immediately you recognize that she's extremely glamorous and likely very powerful. And she looks down at you with a bit of a bemused smile. Just says, "Well done. The little thief has indeed picked some worthy champions."
Glad
you
you
mean
are
him?
pleased, your exalted majesty.
Sorry, I've been called a little thief a couple of times. Didn't know if you meant him or not.
Oh no, I'm not referring to you, but to the elf who stole the stolen moment.
Elf
That's the thief I spoke of course. You know her as Melican.
Oh, that one. I never met her, but... Huh.
In fairness, I suppose it's not quite proper to call her the thief. It was another that did the actual thieving. She simply was the recipient of stolen property, you might say. But then here I am granting you information out of turn. You have earned an audience with me. You have pleased me. You may now ask me any 3 questions you like.
3 each, or all total?
3 between you. It was 1 challenge that you cooperated on. You have earned 3 questions.
We'll need a moment to confer because we've got 2 brains and
Of
we may not
course.
have the same questions in mind.
Take as long as you like. I think you'll find that time is at my command here.
That's handy.
And so we're stepping away for a minute.
Yeah.
So she's already answered something that I was going to ask. She's,
The Melican thing, you mean?
well, these are the Fey Lords and Ladies that the spirit of Lake Elamon referred to.
Oh, yeah.
She
That
is
was,
one of them.
that was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay. This makes the questions more difficult.
Are they already back then? Because wasn't that the thing that was going to be a problem when the moment thing was charged? No, not charged. Whatever that was supposed to happen when the purple things were closed, there was something that happened, and then the Fey Lords and Ladies would come back. Wasn't that it?
I believe it was said that the artifact should not be charged when they come for it.
Right.
So, okay.
So,
So I think we should ask. Well, there's a few things. Is it possible to even close all the fissures? Because we don't know.
that's kind of a hypothetical. We could probably close them if we worked hard. Maybe is it good to close them? Because
Well, but that's subjective.
right.
In her mind, it could be a perfectly wonderful
the
idea to
consequences of
close them
closing?
and recharge it.
What about the consequences of closing them? Like if we did charge that moment. I don't even know what I just said. But anyway, if we did charge the moment, then what would be the consequence of that? And wait, Melicanth didn't take the thing. So
Somebody else
took
stole it and gave it to her.
So or maybe what they really are, like the portals and stuff.
Well, I don't think that's the most pertinent thing. I think we need to know if it's possible to close them all, because like Elamon said, that as we close them, more are opening on different planes of existence. So we may just be fighting a losing battle.
Well, we might close all the ones in this existence. Isn't that good enough? Other existences can fend for themselves. They can find another sturdy dwarf and a couple of elves and a pointy-eared guy or pointy-headed guy.
There are always consequences to every action, whether we take them in this plane of existence or another. They're ripples in a pond, and they're all connected.
Well, if we close off all the portals, though, they can't come to this existence, at least.
This is hard. I wanted to know about my home.
What's she gonna know, too? Like, is there a limit to what she can know?
I don't think so.
I mean, could she answer the questions you have about your mountain?
I am fairly certain she could answer anything we can think to ask. She's the Empress of Time, or something along that line.
Empress of Flowers, powerful over time, and furniture and stuff.
If she has all of time at her beck and call,
she doesn't. Though.
She can find it. How do you know that?
She's missing a moment. No, think about it. If this moment thing is time based and she's a powerful thing of time, she's got to be real pissed that thing has been stolen. Because that means she's not all powerful.
I don't know that we want to push that button.
Well, I mean, didn't really say there was any questions off the table.
She didn't, but I don't think it's really smart to intentionally make her angry.
Sure, okay. At the very least, we know that maybe that's one of the reasons she's so pissed about this moment being gone, or one of the reasons she needs it. Because if you're master of like a whole county and some village defies you, then you're not the master of the whole county, and you got to make an example of that village or take it back or something. I'm trying to figure out if I can relate this to anything I know.
Okay. I have to think.
Yeah.
So, okay, is it possible to close them all? Because if it's not possible, what are we even doing?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, if it is possible to close them all, that still might be a bad thing. If it's not possible to close them all, then that still might be a bad thing. So it kind of works out to a bad thing either way.
Okay, so... Well, how do we phrase the questions, then?
It should be stuff we need to know because we can work on it.
Right.
Stuff that information we can use. And what about Otterkey's thing? His dad, was it? Could come back too? That's not one of hers.
Yeah,
right?
it's all connected. So I think if we restore the moment, that bad thing that was prevented initially is going to happen. And who knows what the consequences will be. And if we don't continue moving forward with what we're doing,
Now,
then the entire fabric of this plane and the next will be ripped apart. So, you know, which one do you choose, really?
what about Melicanth?
No, I don't want to talk about her.
Because some of this stuff you got from her, right? And she said it was important to close these things.
I don't necessarily think that she's lied. I think she doesn't know. She didn't know what she was doing in the first place when, you know, she could have blown up my entire home. And I don't think she knows the full consequences of what she's done now. I don't think she was willfully lying to us. I think she was just ignorant.
What if we asked the Empress of Baubles what we should say
Creator of Baubles.
to Melicanth that would convince her to do the right thing?
I don't think there's anything she can do. This is long past out of Melicanth's hands.
Well, she's still pretty powerful, right?
I could take her.
Still at the center of all this, whether she stole the damn thing or not. She's responsible somehow for using it and seeking it out. Did she seek it out?
I don't know. I don't think that's really something like I don't want to deal with her anymore. Let's forget about Milligan. I'm just getting angry now.
Well, I figure we're gonna have to talk to her at some point
Yes,
if we
well,
can survive this whole Elamon.
she's an ignorant fool.
You didn't seem so angry with her before.
It's easy to ignore things that aren't there. What concerns me most is if what Lake Elamon said about the Fey Lords and Ladies returning for their artifact is true, and it did belong to them, that much is true. She said as much. Then what about the things that he said about my home and Rushama? I mean, are they even there anymore? I don't even know what I'm doing if that's true.
Although that's something we can find out on our own just by going there, right? We don't need her
But
help
if
for that.
But if it's a needless journey, there are other things we could do.
Sounds like you need the journey. I mean, you got to find out for yourself. And we're assuming that Lady Bush over there isn't going to lie to us. There wouldn't be much point, I suppose, if you were.
Well, lying is... there's different kinds of lying. She will only tell us the bare minimum.
So how do
What she has to.
How do the Fey Lords and Ladies relate to, say, Rashama or Elamon?
Would I know that, Christiana?
Make a religion check.
And I have proficiency in that, which I got to check. Plus 6, so that is an 18.
What you know is that similar to how Autarky's paladin vow is to essentially, once you leave the physical planes behind, spiritual energy can take all different forms, including much more abstract things. So instead of the spirit of a tree or a mountain, say, you can have a spirit of vengeance or a spirit of joy. And that's what, Autarky's vow taps into. And then there are other planes that, other physical planes that you've seen that have their own sort of variations on spiritual energy. So you are vaguely familiar, although you wouldn't know a lot about it, that the plane known as the Feywild is an incredibly potent plane, in the sense that the spiritual energy is so abundant there that it interacts with mortal creatures in different ways. And you don't really know all the details, but essentially you would know that it's sometimes hard to understand exactly how things work on that plane, because there's just it's like overflowing with spiritual energy just everywhere.
So what she said.
So is that
Wait,
make
I
it
will
more
paraphrase that. So it's, think of the if Archie's ancestry is the darkness, because Nira has Fey ancestry, right? So that's part of the Elven has.
Yeah, but so that's why you know what you know.
Mhm.
But it's ancient, so
Right,
it's
okay.
not within living history.
Right.
But at the same time, so essentially what you just kind of like in your own plane, you can have druids or wizards or sorcerers and so on, clerics like yourself that are able to draw various power from the spiritual energy around them, right? You would imagine it's similar here, except that there's just so much that it might just be kind of like the difference between having like a little pocket calculator that runs on tiny little watch batteries, and then something that plugs into a 480 volt 3-phase power supply. You know what I mean? It's like, so the things that you could do with the power might be different here, and especially if for the beings that live here. and especially the ones that are the most powerful creatures in the area. Does that
Does
answer
that-
your question? I feel like I got a little bit far afield. But so what you would know is essentially that the nature of the Feywild is essentially, it's a different plane that is essentially distinctive through its just overabundance of this spiritual energy, just running through everything. So basically, whereas in a forest back home, you might have a handful of little spirits here and there, or one big one that governs the whole forest, for example. Whereas you could imagine here that every single blade of grass has its own spirit.
All right.
They're very, very powerful. Okay.
But they're not here now, or I mean, they're not there now, or mostly not there. They're coming back is the thing, and if they're coming back, that means they aren't there now. I'm just wondering what their attitude
Well,
was. Elamon,
I think that their intention is to retrieve their stolen artifact,
Yeah.
which is technically all in one piece, mostly, except for maybe a few little bits, like 4 of them.
Where are they at?
Well, one of them is here in my shoulder.
Well, that's a bit of the thing.
That's a bit of the thing.
No.
That's my understanding. Is that correct, Christiana?
As far as you know,
Yeah. Okay. As far as I know.
it's not like you guys have dug it out or anything. But that's
Right.
That's more or less what Melicanth told you when she examined it.
And these portals are just kind of because the world's all stretched out of shape, right?
When the stolen moment exploded, it destabilized time and space, and it's like, think of it like fabric that's been worn too thin, and there's a sudden, like, say I would cast shatter on something nearby, and it would rip holes in that piece of fabric.
All bent out of shape.
Yeah, it's a little like that. So we're the needle
So-
and thread.
So, is there a way to get rid of the portals without doing the moment thing, without charging it up?
Not as far as I know, because as soon as we close them, they return to the artifact.
So they're tied together. There's no other way.
That's above my pay grade.
That ain't above Miss Fancy Pants over there.
So the question is, can we close the portals without charging the stolen moment?
Because wouldn't that solve a problem or two?
Rather than can we, maybe a better question is how. Not a yes or no question, but something that requires more explanation.
And make sure it's the we part you specified, because if it's just like, how can they be closed? Like, well, I can wave my hand because I'm all powerful. Thanks, Mr. Fancy.
Right.
Mrs. Fancy.
So,
Fancy.
how can we close the portals or
Without charging them all.
the fissures without charging the stolen moment? One question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got to admit, with the possibility of asking any question, getting an answer, there's a whole lot of trivial ones that come to mind,
Right.
but that's probably not important.
Okay. So we have one question. What are the others?
Now, Otterkey's dad is not a friend of these guys, right?
I don't
Are
know.
they competing for the moment?
The moment was when that entity was entering into our plane. And so the idea was to prevent that from happening.
All
But I
right.
feel like maybe it was just a delay.
So can he be shut out?
That could be the second question. I mean, if we say, how can we prevent I don't even know his name.
The dad of Otterkey, I think, is probably enough.
Yeah.
I think she'll know.
Do we know his name? Has Archie ever told us?
Well, what it's a little bit complicated is that I gave you guys a name at some point, and the Autarky has since then been saying it a little bit wrong.
Okay, so
But
would I remember the name?
Let's see. How about this? If you make an intelligence check, I'll give you a chance to remember the name.
Okay. And so, okay, intelligence plus 3, so 15.
Yes, the demon was named Malthalost.
Mothalost.
Multilost.
Okay, so how do we want to phrase the question? Because if we just ask something that can be answered with a yes or no, it's not really going to be helpful.
Right.
Okay.
What are the things that can prevent Autarky's dad from coming back? And how do we... Wait, is an and count as a separate question?
Yeah.
Oh.
In the chat,
what-
Paulette
what-
suggests you ask for the lottery numbers.
It won't matter if we're all.
Like I said, there's a lot of trivial things I could ask
Yeah.
for.
Okay, so
What are the things that we can do to prevent Multilost from coming back? Does that work?
yeah. Because you're asking what are the things, because the obvious thing was well, don't restore the stolen moment.
Yeah. But there might be other things.
Yeah. So if we phrase it in the plural, there might be other options.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else do we need to know? Kind of wish Autarky and
Amethyst.
Amethyst were here because they had a whole bunch of questions I can't remember right now. You ever figure out what happens? Say you did close all those portals with those things that I now discover are stuck in you. What happens then? Like you're charging the stolen moment, right? But you have part of the stolen moment in your shoulder. So when it's fully charged, do you get charged too? Like if you felt the jolt when these been closed?
I don't know that I would describe it that way.
But there's something?
I can definitely feel something happening. It's a little different every time. And we all sort of have been taking turns closing them. I mean, I think Archie, I believe his is in his hand. Correct?
Yeah.
So it's more convenient for him to a lot of times do it, but I've
You can't shrug at it easily.
Right, well, I mean, I did body slam the goblin leader, so the hobgoblin leader, so
Okay.
long
I don't know
story.
if I heard about that. I think that was before I met you.
Yeah, that was before we went to see the dwarves. Okay, so we have 2 questions.
I mean, somebody stole it, right? If it weren't Melicant, then it were somebody else. Could they be an ally, or
I
watch out for you?
more than likely they're dead. If it was someone that was with
Powerful enough to do
Melicant.
this? Which is more
I
likely stumbled
don't-
at the right time, hit the table, and the thing fell off.
I'm not so as concerned with the past as I am about the future.
Gotcha. What about Alamon?
What about Elamond? I think we're doing right now the only thing we can to subvert that spirit.
What Elamini said was that if we were able to bring them back and close the portal on the other side, then Elamon would be cut off from power, something like that.
Right. There would be no reason to continue bringing the Koatoa
Wait a minute.
over.
There are portals on the other side. Were those also created when the moment was stolen?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, we don't know if this is what if the point is even of doing this. Like, if we just continue closing them, like, are more going to open? Is this ever going to end? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, there's always an end. Don't ask that. It may not be the end you want, but
It might be the oncoming train.
yeah.
I mean, there's no way we can travel to every plane to close every fissure. It would
Well, we're
take
closing the
many,
ones-
many lifetimes.
Closing the ones that open up to here, which means they close on both sides, right? Like
Correct.
the door.
Correct.
So if there are other ones that go between other worlds that don't involve us, then we couldn't close those ones.
No, we'd have to live with the knowledge of knowing that we left those other planes to perish, but, I mean, yeah,
Well,
good, so...
That's not so bad. If it's one plane at a time, I mean, we ain't that good.
Right.
Well, you might be. I'm not that good. I don't know. I weren't chosen for this. I just sort of fell into it.
Well, we all have our paths, and they intertwine for a reason.
Yeah. Maybe. What else do you want to know? What else do you need to know? What else do you need to know that would solve something? Or make a direction, a determination, a plan even? Or with Melicanthe, I know you don't want to talk too much about her, but it seems like that's the big open question. She put you on this path, right?
She didn't
Or
know
she
what she was doing.
explained.
She had no idea.
You sure about that?
She didn't know what it would cause.
Sure about that?
If she knew, she could have prevented it. She doesn't
Sure.
want this. Like, I've met the woman. She's not completely stupid, but I've met far more brilliant people than she.
All right. Well, even stupid people can have big dreams. Bad ones. And that usually causes problems.
Well, I think for all of her mistakes, I think her intentions were good. All right. So what did we decide that we're asking? We're asking... No, I can't remember.
Uh,
This sucks.
what are the things that we can do to keep Milk Toast from coming back?
Yeah. What are the things we can do to prevent Mophilos?
I didn't. Yeah.
I didn't write down from returning
Multiple.
or from crossing into our plane. The
Yeah,
material.
because returning is like he's not actually
Right.
from there, right? Like, home.
Right. From crossing over into the material.
Are there ways to close the portal that don't charge the moment? I think that was
Yes,
the other
that
one.
was the other one. Okay.
I mean, are the portals all dangerous? I mean, we just left them all open. Didn't
Well,
go
that's subjective. It really depends on who you are and what your goals are in life. But
I mean, Elamon seems to draw power from it and can bring more things in.
I think as they remain, they get more powerful.
Oh.
It's not the kind of thing you just want laying around.
I mean, the two you rescued me from could have just been buried in the mine forever. Although what those little
Yeah,
doodads were up to, I don't know. But
they were building something, and it was keeping that portal open, which I think is not unlike what we're going to find when we get out of wherever we are.
all right, we could ask about that. How do we close the portal, or what sort of enemies are there, or what are we facing? What is it the little squishes are running away from? We really didn't find out much about that.
I really enjoy that you call them the little squishes.
They make a squish sound when they move. Yeah.
Incidentally, you guys just sort of suddenly realize that you are sitting at a little, garden table, drinking tea and eating really delicious little cucumber sandwiches. You don't quite remember how that, like when that arrived or like when that happened, but you do sort of realize that that's what you were doing while you talked this over.
Never really understand why they cut the crusts off. I like the crusts.
I could do without it.
It's good tea, though. It's not beer, but
All right. So you wanted to ask them about the portal?
I mean, it's the most immediate problem. What are we facing? What are we up against? We don't know much about what we're facing, and we just literally walked into a hole. And that hurt.
Well, we've also just been plucked out of time and space and brought up a demon, so without any planning.
Well, yeah. I don't know what your point was, but if we'd known a little bit more, maybe we'd have done better, and not damn near died twice.
Well, that's kind of how it goes with things we usually do. We didn't die.
Suggesting maybe a new plan might be able, or something that doesn't involve us almost dying. I don't know. What other big mysteries do you need to answer? Do you want to ask about your mountain?
I do.
Do you think it's important?
I do. Well, that's where all of this started.
I thought it started with Melicanth and the...
Where do you
moment.
think they were when they stole the moment?
I don't know.
They were in the heart of my mountain.
Oh. Wait, they stole stole the moment from your mountain? Did they make a mountain out of a molehill or what?
It was already a mountain when they got there.
Oh. So it didn't... Was it already, like, the thing? Was it already,
All of this happened long before I was a part of the world and knew anything about this.
but Rashama, was Rashama tied to the moment?
Oh, that's what I don't know. I don't know what we'll find when I get home. I don't even know if my home is still there.
I mean, we can, well, I mean, we've got a bunch of stuff to do, but we can travel there to find that out. But maybe ask a deeper secret than just is the mountain still home? Like,
Well, I was going to ask a broader question. What will I find when I return home? And that would save us the trip.
but what about finding out Rashama's true nature attached to the moment? Maybe it was no coincidence that you were the one chosen to go and fix this stuff.
Oh, I know it wasn't a coincidence. I just don't know why.
Maybe ask that.
It seems too easy. I don't know that...
I mean, if you knew what the reason was, maybe that'd give you direction. Sometimes it's good to know where you come from, even if you didn't see it there at the time.
Well, knowing how these type of beings like to talk, she'd say something profound like, you were chosen for this task because no one else can do it. And really, that I already know because I was there and I have the thing in my shoulder, so of course nobody else can do it. That's a question I don't need answered.
But you think there's something bigger than that, though? Something that's tied to Rashama?
I do. I just don't know how to ask. I'm not... I don't know what I'm looking for. But I know I'm looking for something. Probably doesn't make any sense.
Is that something we could roll and have an assist on?
You'd have one of your questions be like the second question could be, what should our third question be?
What is
No, it's not wishes. We can't just ask for more
Well,
questions.
no, I mean, Oh, thanks. Dropping books here. Ew.
Apparently, knowledge just hit the floor.
I mean, no. I mean, that's a challenge for you guys right now. This is to see what you guys want to ask and what you want to find out about. That's that's on you guys.
Yeah.
There are lots of different interesting avenues that you could pursue, just depending on what you guys want to know about.
Maybe ask how is Rashama tied to the moment? Or
Well, because then she could tell us something we already know, is that the moment was stolen from within the heart of Rashama.
well, then ask what can you tell us that we don't know about how Rashama and the heart and the moment are tied together?
Well, how will she know what we know and what we don't?
Supposedly knows everything. And if she doesn't know everything, then her power is diminished. Although she'll probably get pissed about that.
Yeah.
It was kind of open-ended questions. So the assumption was she could answer anything.
What if... Something Elmon said bothers me in that the way the spirit phrased it, was like all that remained of Rushama was the part I carry with me, and that doesn't bode well for my home.
Like you got an actual piece of the mountain you carry around with you?
Not a physical.
Well, one of the things that you would know as a cleric of Rushama is that because the spirit of Rushama is innately tied to a geographical feature, right? He has his domain, but can't really exert any influence outside his domain unless he imbues some of his essence into a mortal creature like you to go outside of his normal sphere of influence and essentially be like a vessel for a portion of his power. That's how your magic works.
What concerns me is that the way it was phrased made it feel like it was possible that's all that remains.
Wait, are you the only follower of Rashama?
Well, I wasn't. But I haven't been home for over 100 years. I don't know. I don't know what happened when the stolen moment exploded. I have no idea what happened after that.
I mean, we can still see the mountain from here. I mean, not from here, but we could see it from the lake.
Yeah,
but what Elamon said is that it was a hollow shell.
Well, every volcano's a hollow shell. That doesn't really say much.
Rashama is not a volcano.
Oh, well, maybe dormant volcano.
The mountain has stood for time immemorial. It's the foundation of everything I am and
well, wait, no.
Where I came from.
Elamon, when it grew in power, started spreading out the lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Elamon goes down in power, the lake shrinks back.
Right.
Mountain's still there. It's not gotten any smaller. So what if it's a little hollow?
Well, but
inside?
water expands. Like it's a liquid. Mountains don't work
Mountains
like
expand.
that. Okay, so when the dwarves mine into the earth,
sure,
the mountain doesn't increase in size.
No.
No.
But we're not necessarily.
It becomes hollowed out.
We aren't necessarily cutting into a spirit either. Wait, are you trying to accuse me of taking up your mountain?
No, I'm certainly not. I'm not doing any such thing. I'm doing no such thing. I'm trying to make an analogy.
Sure, okay, but I mean, we're talking spirits. Water doesn't just grow. It's power, right? It's as its power grew, it made more water. I don't know how that works, but that's what it seemed to be. So figure if your mountain's not feeling good, then it would shrink. It would become a molehill. It would fall apart, and you wouldn't have anything with you.
You guys realize that even though you do feel like you've been talking for a while, this delicate just after sunset sky as you entered has not changed at all. It's still like the sun has just dipped below the horizon.
She did say something about having all the time in the world. I think she meant it. Although if I have too much more tea, it's going to definitely take its toll. Well, I mean, if you asked if the Rashama that's within you is all that's left of Rashama, that'd give you one answer, wouldn't it?
Well, but it's a yes or no question.
What more of Rashama exists that's outside of you? How about that? And then if there's nothing, there's nothing. If there's more, then to tell you.
Okay, well, let's see. I could ask about the state of Rashama. Like, wow. I don't know how to phrase this. Because it isn't like a really it's this is hard.
Well, we are dealing with a being that somehow stops time and just sort of decided it can force us to fight some jawed thing. So yeah, it's pretty hard.
You guys consented. You weren't forced to do
We
anything.
did. But the first thing that came to Nira's mind is like she wants to ask about her home in Rishama. That's immediately why she accepted. You tell me anything? Okay, good. Let's go.
And the other two big mysteries, the questions ask themselves, we get that. But yeah, go ahead and ask about Rashama. You want to know, what do you want to know? If Rashama is all gone and Rashama is just a hollow shell, if Rashama only lives within you?
I think if I ask, what will I find when I return home? Or what will I find if I return home? I think that would answer the questions that I need answered.
How about what would you find if you returned now? Because
I don't
eventually
know.
you're going back to
I
the
don't
mountain,
know.
right?
I don't know what I would find. I mean, there could be nothing
Oh,
left.
But if you ask that question rather than if you ask, what am I going to find when I return? Well, if you're not back for another 100 years, that doesn't really matter. But you could say, what would I find of Rashama in the mountain if I went back now?
Okay.
Would that do it?
I think that'll do it. What?
Right.
I'm
Hope you get
writing
the
these
answers.
down so we don't forget them.
I hope you get the answers you need, Nirakina. I don't know what it's like to be you. I've never really... I mean, I know spirits exist and they're all that, but I've never been as tightly connected to one like you are. And then, I mean, I have seen my dad screw stuff up and grow stupid with age. Or just make bad decisions. So I kind of know what it's like to go home and it ain't quite home again. But this is not it. It's all I can relate to.
I didn't really miss it until I was given cause to worry. It's the prospect of it not being there at all that...
Well, hang on now. One thing I gotta say. If that mountain were gone, if it were blown off the face of the planet, if it weren't there, nothing more than dust, then Rashama still lives in you. And you can make another mountain. I know that's true. So regardless of what happens, regardless if there's nothing there, there's something there. Rashama still lives. Maybe not as big as he once was. Maybe you just want to take a walkabout on a smaller scale. But I'm sure you could build a mountain again. Hell, I'm a dwarf. I can help you build mountains.
I appreciate that. And thank you for letting me ask this final question. I know it's a little selfish.
You've been bugged about this for a while. I saw when Elamon was talking about it, and I saw your reaction. I know you want to go back. Hopefully this is the answer you need.
It's nearly all I can think of.
Yeah. Well, let's ask these questions, get these answers, and then we can think of other stuff, like breakfast.
I mean, you just had sandwiches.
Yeah, but it ain't breakfast. Sandwiches are snack between
You
breakfast.
realize
and
that the plate has been and the teacups have been cleared away, but you're still not quite sure where they went, but they're not there anymore.
Yeah, it's a little spooky. Besides, we also got to liberate some bunch of squishies from other things we don't know about. So there are lots of other things to think about once you clear your mind.
Okay. Are we ready then?
Let's do this thing.
All right.
So you make your way back over to where this queen, this empress sits, and she smiles down at you and says, "I do say it was quite fascinating listening to your reasoning and your process."
Well, glad to be a fascination, I guess.
You've selected your 3 questions, then?
We have.
Yep.
Then proceed.
I wrote them down. Do you want me to read them or?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. The first question. Is there a way to close the fissures without charging the stolen moment?
Closing the fissures is more of a complicated task than you imagine. And she reaches to her side, and there's sort of a beautiful, like, crystal vase sitting on a little end table near her. And she holds it out and then drops it to the ground, and it shatters across the ground. She reaches down, picks up one shard, and waves her hand, and the rest of the vase reassembles like its shattering is reversed in time. So now she is holding the vase, but still missing the shard that she picked out of it. She says, "This vase will never hold water again until the piece is restored to it."
Right.
I think that's a no.
Also means that the moment won't be charged until all the pieces are back.
Well,
If you
but
wish
ripple
to
effects.
solve the problem of the fissures, the only way is to return the moment which was stolen.
Which is that?
All right. Second question then.
Let's go for it.
All right. What things can we do to prevent? I'm gonna fudge his name. From returning to the material plane, or from entering the material plane.
First, I do not blame you. Demon names are dreadful. But the question you ask, once again, is not quite the question you want to ask or that you think you are asking. The moment of the demon arriving is the moment that was stolen. Unless it is restored, it is impossible for him to come. But if the moment is restored, then he has come.
So the only thing we can do to prevent it is to not restore the fissures. But if we if we don't restore the fissures, everything falls apart.
If the moment is restored, then he has already been summoned.
Yeah.
How the timeline proceeds from there is perhaps more flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get it.
So kill a demon, no problem, right?
Well, we don't have to rush into it or anything.
You
we
did
have
make
some
short
time.
work of our little pet earlier. I would warn you, of course. Not that I think you would expect any less, but
He's bigger.
Morgalost is, yes, somewhat bigger.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, our third question. What would I find of the mountain and Rushama if I went home right now?
You would find your people preparing for war at the direction of their spirit.
before. You people are-
Rushama, the mountain, has become cold, paranoid, hostile, and these feelings have been transferred to your people.
Oh, hell.
They seek to expand Rushama's influence through conquest.
It's like Elamon all over again.
The heart of Rushama has been eaten away by the darkness underneath. However, the part that you carry within you is from before this and remains pure.
Remember when I said Melicanth messed everything up? This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, the darkness
Oh.
underneath Rushama was present before the stolen moment. It just had simply not reached the surface yet.
Okay. There goes that plan then. Because if we restored the moment, that would change history, I guess. And that would change Rushama. But if this was already there, that wouldn't change ultimately.
After all, the moment being stolen was the summoning of this demon prince to your plane. That was occurring before the moment was stolen.
Yeah. Yeah. Why choose there? Who was bringing the demon in anyway? Do you know that?
What was his name? Zorath? Zorath and his people.
When he was doing it at Your Mountain?
Inside it.
Where's Zorath now?
That would be another question, I'm afraid. You are, of course,
That one
free.
I kind of know.
You are,
So-
of course, free to continue this line of inquiry amongst yourselves. However, your audience, as amusing as it has been, must now come to an end. I will return you to where I found you, and by my grace, you will remember what has occurred here.
Thank you, your exalted majesty.
Yeah, I'm crude by nature, but I do want to say my thanks to you and your company. The test was tough, but the answers were interesting.
Ah, yes. Well, I just can't resist getting involved, even with such an amusing spectacle as all of this. When I created the stolen moment, I never imagined it would be so entertaining.
Creative.
And then you guys, you kind of, your vision fades and you find yourself back in that stone hallway, where everything seems to freeze for a moment.
Like, she created the stolen moment.
All right, so I think we'll probably, leave it there. Maybe Archie and Amethyst kind of stop and look at you for a moment. It's like, you guys just kind of stared into space for a second. What happened?
Oh, we have a lot to talk about, but maybe not here.
All right, so I think we will leave it there for today, and
Dun, dun, dun.
hopefully we'll be back next week with our full complement once again. So,
I'm just looking down at Mother Dragon's comment. Get some more of those little sandwiches for the road. I could have been stuffed in my pockets for hours.
yeah,
Well,
you,
everybody knows you're not supposed to eat or drink anything in the fairy realm because then you have to stay.
We didn't really know that. We were already halfway eaten. By the time that happened.
Too late.
Probably wouldn't have survived anyway. Sandwiches don't survive the trip through the Feywild.
so thank you everybody for listening and or watching, and those of you in the chat room, it's been great having you, and we'll be back next week.
So
Awesome.
Oh, it's so
On so
more
many
adventure on
levels.
so many levels.